Hey everybody, welcome to Getting Stoked. Want to jump in real quick and tell everyone how you can connect with the show. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for constant updates, events, and whatever ramblings and going on I might be involved with. I always want to connect with listeners and be as accessible as possible. So if you're interested in coming on the show, or maybe you just want to shoot the shit, hit me up at gettingstokedpodcast@gmail.com or any of the aforementioned social media websites. Always feel free to send me links to your music, and if I'm into it, I'll hit you back. You guys are everything to me, and it really means the world that anyone listens, so thank you so fucking much. Enough with the chuffa, let's get on with the show. Bada boom! Welcome back to the show. Okay, so I'm really fucking excited, man, because I've got you, Trevor, from Sundressed. Hello.
Thanks, man.
Hi.
How's it going?
I'm happy you made it here after work. So I'm fucking happy you're here. I have a lot of questions for you. But mainly, first of all, how you doing? Feeling good? All
good.
right?
Yeah.
Chilling?
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. I'm happy that you're here. Thanks for making the time. So, especially making the time because you guys tour so fucking much. How long ago did you get off the road?
We got back in mid-January, and we're actually home for a little bit now. Because
Gotcha.
we just weren't home last year at all.
Yeah.
So we did like over 100 shows, which was the most we've done in a year.
Damn.
So
100 shows. Where's the where do you guys feel like you're the most oiled, like as a unit, as far as shows go? Like middle, towards the end? Like, you know what I'm talking about? How I just
Oh yeah, yeah. I'd say middle.
Middle.
I mean, it gets so second nature after a while, but then like, especially if you're touring in the cold, you're bound to get sick at some point. I'm bound to lose my voice, you know. So it's
definitely. So okay, fuck it. Let's go back to the beginning. I want to know a few things. Where are you from, first of all?
I pretty much grew up here, but I was born in Southern California.
Okay, where by here you mean like the valley?
Yeah, like Scottsdale, Cave Creek area.
Oh,
so a little
shit.
further up north.
Damn. It's so crazy when I find out that people live up there because I don't even think about that part of the state.
Yeah, it's crazy. We moved there in 1998, and the 101 only went up to Shea Boulevard.
Oh shit!
So it was like all surface streets for like 20 miles before our house to get like anywhere.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah. So living up there, what were some of your like earliest musical influences?
Musical, I really got into music and like punk rock and stuff from skateboarding growing up. Like that was my first love, and I would make mix CDs of all the songs that were in skate videos that I liked.
What were some of your favorite skaters?
I was big on like the Girl and the Chocolate Team, like Mark Johnson and Paul Rodriguez and all those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, that like with me, I loved the Tony Hawk games. That was the shit.
Yeah,
like I was so good at those, man. Yeah. So much so that my friends refused to play with me.
Nice.
Like, this isn't fun for anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. And the soundtracks to those too, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So basically, just like early punk rock that you were seeing on skate videos and stuff like that. Like, who
I think that was the first. Like, I think some of the first CDs I got, like I. 5th, 6th grade, I had like a Less Than Jake CD. I had No Doubt, Tragic Kingdom. Nice. I'm a little older, actually, just turned 31. So
happy birthday! I know your birthday was just there. Yeah. What's that like? Was 30 rough? Was that like a hard birthday to hit, or because I know for some people it is.
Like mentally, yeah, but it doesn't feel that different.
Yeah,
it's just like I don't know. I feel like my memory is fleeting sometimes. Like I have like harder time like remembering things and people's names and stuff. Mm-hmm. And like yesterday I drove all the way downtown Phoenix for work and I didn't have to work.
Yeah, that's fucking. I feel like 31. I mean, I'm only 24, but when I think about 30, I think about like fuck, I'm gonna have to reevaluate my whole life once I hit 30, and then 31 is like, all right, well, I'm already here.
Right, yeah. I feel like I hit that in like 25, 26, and then I realized that if I'm just doing what makes me happy, I don't really have to define success by a 9-to-5 job or financial stability. Like,
yeah, definitely.
I'll tour as long as I can because I love it.
The hardest thing is not comparing yourself to other people.
Oh yeah,
that's my biggest thing. Like, my girlfriend and I were watching Clerks the other night. and Kevin Smith made that when he was 23 or 24. So
no shit.
I was thinking about that. I was like, I would have to make Clerks right now, and that's fucking depressing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing when you see like pop stars or young kids who just get like the golden hand that lifts them up and whatever, the Justin Biebers. But it's another thing when like actual artists work their asses off, and by the time they're 24, they've already made their fucking like masterpiece.
Yeah.
Just like, God
yeah,
damn it.
even with like skateboarding, I used to want to be a pro skater growing up, and now, if you're not pro by the time you're like 13, you're fucked. Like,
it's Instagram.
Yeah,
it's fucking Instagram,
yeah, it's
man.
crazy.
Yeah, that's insane. I see.
Yeah.
Like, I follow Baker on Instagram, and I see these crazy videos and these awesome, ridiculous lines, and then I look at the skater, and he's like 15 years old.
Yeah, it's nuts.
So I wasn't into skateboarding, but I don't think I was reckless enough to really be good.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
feel
mean?
that. Mm-hmm.
So I didn't commit to it as much as I should have. So when it comes to music, was there like a specific album or a specific few albums or bands that really made you decide this is really what I want to do?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I didn't actually start playing music until I was like 20 years old, which is kind of crazy.
Just skateboarding up until that point?
Yeah, and like I had a pretty bad history. I got pretty bad into drugs and drinking, and that's why I'm sober now. I got sober when I was 22, so that kind of clouded a lot of my late teens and stuff like that. But do you remember like what made me love music was because I always listened to like, you know, Newfound Glory and like MXPX, all those bands growing up, and it was fun to go to shows, but I wasn't like I want to make music. But when I heard Bright Eyes for the first time,
Really?
that was like what drew me to making music, because I was never like the best singer or guitar player or anything, but it was like how you could put words together in a song to make someone feel something so strongly. And like I heard it was Bright Eyes, Fevers and Mirrors. That was the first album I heard,
really good
and
album.
it fucked me up in the best way. Like,
Dude.
they're probably still my favorite band to this day.
Really? That's so cool. The dude, because Halai is on that record, and that's one of my all-time favorite Bright Eyes songs
Fuck yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
That album's damn. That's a really good choice. No one talks about that record, at least in the circles in which I'm present. People are always talking about the obvious ones, or maybe they'll go back to the first record or whatever. But like, no one talks about Fevers and Mirrors. It's a great record.
Yeah, it definitely changed what I thought about music, because I always liked like writing poetry and stuff, and I just never really thought about like writing songs until I heard like what his songs sound like. And there's not really rules in his songs, you know.
No,
like
not.
he could have a song with 7 verses and no chorus, and you're not bored, you know.
Yeah, not at all.
So
Yeah, first Bright Eyes song I heard was At the Bottom of Everything. And at first I was skeptical because there's that weird monologue that he gives in the beginning. And I was in maybe like 7th grade, so I didn't totally get the whole folk thing quite yet. Now I'm really, really into folk music. He was kind of my intro to that. Now I'm really into a lot of the nittier grittier stuff. But when I heard At the Bottom of Everything, I was like, oh, this is kind of fun and weird or whatever. Fucking 10 seconds into the first verse, and I knew that this was what I wanted to listen to forever.
yeah. He's there's no one better with words, I don't think.
I agree.
Like, and from Bright Eyes, I got into like late high school. I just loved Saddle Creek Records and all the like I loved Cursive and The Good Life and Rilo Kiley, all those bands, and that was what kind of got me into songwriting, because it was like kind of the actual song is more upfront and not like, you know, disguised by a bunch of guitar riffs and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, because it sounds like the music you were listening to before that was more just fun or energetic, but this was more evocative of an actual emotion. That's crazy. I would have never thought that it would have been that kind of music. That's super fucking cool. So you heard Bright Eyes, and it was just like, I'm going to start trying to write songs to express yourself. And how old were you at this time?
Like 17, 18. I didn't ever like really pick up a guitar until I was like 20.
Okay. So guitar was the first instrument you started to play?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
But I did like try singing in a couple bands that never really worked out. I moved around a lot when I was like using and trying to get sober, I moved to Oregon to try and get away from it all. Bunch of crazy shit, but
yeah. Oregon, interesting choice. What made you want to go to Oregon?
Oh, I had friends there,
Okay.
so it was not, it was more like manipulating my way into getting to live in Portland for a while, But it was actually there I started playing guitar because I'd be with my good friend Matt, and I would just make him play Bright Eyes songs to the point where he was like, "I'm just gonna teach you how to do this." So that was like how I learned guitar, pretty much.
That's crazy. Do you remember or play any of your first songs or at all anymore? Do you remember any of those earliest stuff that you wrote?
I don't really play any anymore, but there is some recorded. Like even on Spotify, there's a first Sundressed record that sounds nothing like Sundressed sounds now. It's way more like just a wannabe Bright Eyes record.
Which one is that?
It was called Whiskey with Milk.
Okay.
It's recorded horribly, but it had some cool songs on it.
Okay, got it. So that's some of your earliest stuff. Mm-hmm. So is that just you then by yourself?
I had people playing with me.
Okay.
I kind of started the moniker Sundressed, and I was playing acoustic, and then kind of just slowly built it into a band. Like we got asked to play a house show, and I wanted to have like a drummer and shit. And from there, I was like, I just got to have a band,
Mm-hmm.
And it
Definitely.
kind of slowly morphed from there.
So, and now I read in an interview that Sundress was kind of your way to stay sober. Is that right? Kind of.
Definitely a big part of it.
A big part of it.
Because like I started playing music and writing songs before I got sober, and I was never really able to do it because getting fucked up was first, and anything else I wanted to do was second.
Plus, I'm sure it clogged the antenna or whatever. To
totally.
Truth and expression.
But yeah, like when I finally did get sober, I spent so much time just with the guitar because like just so much shit was bottled up for so long that I had to get out, and it was super therapeutic. And now, like, it's like I don't necessarily have songs directly about that, but like living sober is every day for me, so I'm able to connect with a lot of people who hear the songs that are trying to get sober and stuff like that. So that's really cool.
That's crazy. So how long were you in the throes of addiction for?
It was bad for like 4 to 5 years.
Damn. Bad for 4 to 5 years, and you're here now sober, which is like that's fucking crazy.
It's
4 to 5 years,
honestly a
usually kills
miracle.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy, man. So was it like, did you have like a good support system in your life that was kind of helping you through that, or was that just your drive for the music?
I have great parents. I had
Really?
a great childhood. And they, when I finally did get sober, it was kind of the last straw with them. It was just kind of like they dropped me off at treatment, and they were like, "Don't talk to us until you got 6 months clean."
Damn.
And that was a big wake up call. But I was also just done. Like, I feel like you get to a point where even you could keep doing it through all these bad consequences, but then you can just be spiritually done, and it's just a matter of accepting help.
Damn, that's fucking intense, man. So, that's crazy. So, was that just like escapism or just straight up self-destruction?
A lot of it was like into high school, I was painfully shy. I had a lot of social anxiety, and then it was like first just like pot and drinking, and it was like fixed it like right away. And it was, you know what I mean?
Which
and
is
it was kind of
a scary realization.
Yeah.
Like, fuck.
To look,
This worked
and
too
then
well.
it was just like like maybe this will work better, and it
Classic. Yeah.
got heavy from there.
Damn.
But
man. That's fucking crazy. So like, so was when they dropped you off, like, was that the moment where you specifically just conclusively decided I'm not going to do this anymore?
I had kind of already made the decision before I subconsciously.
Yeah.
Like it was so normal for me that it was really hard to like even fathom it, but it happened slowly over time when I realized I was like really done. Like
Damn.
I didn't have any more fight in me.
Yeah. That's crazy.
And I was lucky that I got beat down like at 22, and
Yeah.
because people stay fucked up into their 40s and 50s. You
yeah,
know?
man. Yeah, no, for sure. That's definitely. And so, so this time, I'm sure like were there attempts beforehand, but this was like just the time where it needed to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
Like I was young at first, and then I was like, maybe I could just, drink and not, do drugs or whatever, and slowly realize that it's kind of all or nothing. Like I can't really.
I've heard it.
It's not even worth trying to manage. You
Yeah.
know, it's just like I have so much more fun not being fucked up. So,
Yeah, definitely. No, that's awesome,
Yeah.
man. So where exactly does Sundressed begin? As the moniker Sundressed, like this is the thing that I'm doing now.
So I had like 2 years sober, and I was living in Prescott. That's where I got sober, and I had to come back to Phoenix to deal with some like DUI stuff that I got.
Got it.
I mean, more people in Phoenix have them than don't. I feel
Yeah,
like,
no, that's true. No, that's true.
But and I had to be here because I had to do like the work release thing, and I was working at this venue called The Fix on Mill. It's not there anymore. Well, the building is, but the venue's not there. And it was a coffee shop, and it started there actually. When I was still like dealing with all my court stuff, we'd practice at The Fix, and it started as like an acoustic, and I'd have someone like playing lead with me, or like and then we slowly built it into a band.
So I read on an album credit somewhere that Ryan Osterman was in the band. Was that originally, or was that like did he kind of jump in after you guys were already a thing?
He hopped in a bit later.
Okay.
Yeah, like a year or two in. He's one of my best friends. So
Dude,
like,
I'm excited. I haven't met him yet. He's coming on the show on Monday.
oh nice.
And Holy Fawn is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that is the band that Ryan has always wanted.
Really?
And I'm so happy that he has it now.
Was that like that when you guys were playing together when Sundressed was?
He was doing his project Owl and Penny, which was awesome, but like the guys he was playing with like didn't want to get as heavy as Holy Fawn is.
Yeah.
And like he kind of restarted, and like it's just like every band he loves into one band. But he's amazingly talented, so like when we were living together at the time, so he just started playing guitar for us.
Got it.
But it's always Sundressed has always kind of been like that, because I love playing shows, and I like do so much that like I can only get people to stick around for so long, so it's always kind of been like a Trevor and friends.
I've always heard that. I mean, word around town, and I had never met anybody in the band, but I still knew, even from a distance, that Sundressed is Trevor. I've heard that I've heard that a lot. I've heard that from multiple friends of just like, oh yeah, you should talk to this person about this or this person about that, or but yeah, Sundressed is just Trevor's thing.
Yeah,
it's always a side
I
note.
mean, I don't want to discount anyone who's contributed,
Yeah, of course.
because everyone who has played with me has left their mark. Like Forrest's voice sounds so good with my voice, and like I think I'll probably always have him on records as much as I can.
Well, I mean, it's true that we're all like a huge amalgam of everybody that we've spent time with. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Everybody leaves
totally.
your mark on you, regardless. I was thinking about that the other day, how I am just all of the people who I've let into my life, plus. Like, you know what I mean? It's and playing with people in bands, and the huge crew that you guys have amassed over time. I can only imagine how many pieces would fit together.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's kind of like when you kind of just meet the people who are just like lifers for music, and then like their band breaks up, and you're like, I got this tour, I need a bass player. Like, hop in the fucking van, let's go have fun. Like my good buddy AJ, who's playing with us now, he's our first like out of state member who's like really like, he's done the last like 5 tours with us, and I don't think he's gonna stop. I originally met him because he was playing bass in Weatherbox, which is one of my favorite bands. So I would always have us open if I could when they came through, and we just became friends.
Where are they from?
They're from San Diego.
San Diego.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
gotcha.
it's a doable drive if
Yeah,
we're not,
how does that
you know.
work? Does he just, whenever you guys are going to have a tour, he comes up and you guys rehearse and then go out?
Pretty much, yeah. And he's so good that like we didn't have to teach him anything. He just like listened to the record and he was just good. Like one time through the songs.
That's
Let's
awesome.
Go. Yeah.
That's how I am. I can't read music worth shit, but I can just pick it up. Every band that I've ever auditioned for, every band that I've ever played in, unless I'm like a founding member, it's always been like I show up to practice ready to go. Like learn the songs by ear. I don't really understand theory all that well, but like we have an organ. And the other day, I had that song "Peace Sign" from Front Bottoms in my head, and I was just like tinkering around the keyboard, and it's like dun 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 dun. Like you can just kind of by ear kind of pick it out. So yeah, that's how I am too. Like I can kind of relate to that. I wish I was more technically inclined, I guess. But
yeah, I'm not either of those. Like I've always seen myself as a songwriter, but not a guitar player at all.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like a vessel to write songs. So,
yeah, it's interesting because I remember always hearing that Sundressed is Trevor, but Trevor just sings, which I thought was very odd. Most people who are the band or whatever, or the main writer of the band usually are playing guitar.
Mm-hmm. And that's how it was for a long time.
Yeah.
And then honestly, like when we started like the second EP, Same Condition, like I pushed myself vocally really hard on that, and I realized that like I was like, if we get someone else to play guitar, I'm gonna be able to sing this way better live, kind of thing.
Got it.
And
you're not focusing on everything else as much.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and usually with writing, it's been like I just write the skeleton on an acoustic, and I get people I trust to make him into rock songs, kind of thing.
Yeah, I was wondering how much input from the other members become what the song is.
Yeah, it's been kind of a mix. Like I've also done a lot with our producer Curtis Douglas, because a lot of times it'd just be me and him in the studio, because we like the full length. We spent like 6-7 months on it, and it was just like, whenever I wasn't at work, I was there with him, So, like, he played some guitar, and he, like, helped me write some bass and stuff like that. And we, our drummer at the time, Garrett, just, like, came in and just knocked it all out. But we kind of built the songs in the studio and then built the instruments on top of them, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got you. That makes sense. Yeah, so now you guys started working with Curtis Douglas on the Dig Up a Miracle Same Condition thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
like EPs, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so did you know him previously to that, or how did that relationship start?
I knew of him, and his manager at the time reached out to us and just met up with him, and it was a really good fit for me because like I'm not super musically inclined, and he just understands theory really well. So like if I would come in with like this, this song, and there's this chorus, but this like hook that I want isn't making sense over this chord, he'd just be like, oh, that's because it has to be a seventh. Like you're good. You know what I mean? Kind of stuff like that. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, me and him did a lot of Sundressed songs together.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
It's kind of like a fifth Beatle kind of thing.
George Martin.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, I mean, I see he's like ever since that his name has been attached to everything. So it's just everybody. You guys just it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And we're I'm not like opposed to like trying other people. Like I feel like I've learned a lot from him, and there's been things that have been really good, and other things that I'm like, like he's a very much a perfectionist, which is like a good thing to an extent. But like sometimes, just want to let my voice crack a little or something,
Yeah, no, man, I feel that, but I'm like that too. We're married to we're really, 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 really married to Matt Alderwood. That's who we like just use for fucking everything. Like we love that dude. And so it's important when you have these songs that you love, and you have this thing that you're pouring your heart into, and you're pouring every bit of blood and sweat into this. You want to be able to trust this person whose job it is to make this thing that you've concocted in your head with your friends a reality that sounds like the truest version of what you're working on. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's a crazy task to burden somebody with. Like,
it
make
is.
my dream sound awesome.
Yeah, before we found him, it was rough. We tried people who had made great records for other people, and like, since I don't know theory and I don't know, like, it was hard for me to communicate like what I wanted out of a mix, you know, stuff like that. And then it didn't hurt that like when we made the first EP with Curtis was like game changer for us as far as like getting like press and like label interest and stuff like that. Mm-hmm.
So what was the idea behind releasing 2 EPs within 6 months of each other?
It's kind of funny how that happened actually. So when we first went into Dig, we wanted to do a full length. And I had a ton of songs, but Curtis sat me down and he was like these 6 songs are great, but like, why not just release 6 songs instead of like, you know, trying to, you know, pull a full length out of, you know, like his thing was always like, even like if we're like working on a song, this chorus is great, but like every other part of the song has to be just as good. Like there's no filler, you know, which taught me a lot about songwriting for sure. And then, so we were just going to release that EP on its own, and we actually like announced it and started putting songs out and stuff like that. And then Take This to Heart Records like hit me up on Twitter and was like, is anyone putting this on vinyl? Like, I want to do it. So we ended up signing it was the EP plus the option to do a split.
Okay.
And what happened was we recorded 2 songs that were on, it was Beck and Call and Good As You. And we were looking for a band to do a split, and all the bands we wanted to do a split with, like, it didn't end up working out, so we just recorded 2 more songs and made it a split with ourselves, pretty much.
That's funny. That's really funny. So the same condition was supposed to be a split?
Yeah.
Got it. Interesting.
But it kind of felt like it was almost like the 2 EPs together almost kind of work almost like a full length, but we had like 6 months to figure out like a little bit more about like who we were as a band to do the other songs. That
makes sense. Yeah, that was when that was when I first heard about you guys, was when those EPs were coming out. So yeah, that's crazy. I remember I was looking around at the dates and I was like, I feel like these came out really close to each other, and I was like, oh shit, they're both the same year.
It definitely helped us like get our start pretty quick too.
Yeah. So that was what, 2015? Mm-hmm. Now, how much touring did you guys do that year?
We did. Let me see. It's like 1 dedicated West Coast, 1 East Coast, and then we did like 1 little Midwest run. Okay. That was when we were just like kind of starting to DIY tour, and we were going out with other DIY bands and just kind of booking it ourselves and all that.
Do you prefer doing it that way, or do you prefer kind of like, how do you do it now?
We have a booking agent now.
Okay.
Her name's Eva. She's out in Philly, and it's like after doing it for so long myself, it's honestly a relief. Yeah. Like, because she does a better job. She makes sure we get paid. And it's like she knows so many people, so it's helped us get connections to like bigger tours. Like we got to do the 2 tours with Ann Arbor last year, and we did a run with Dry Jacket from Philly. So we're starting to do like a little bit more put together tours, you know.
I saw that Ann Arbor flyer, and I was like, damn, that's fucking awesome.
It was really cool. Like, I had met Adam a few years back, and it like, because they took a long hiatus before they started touring again, and it was kind of like he just remembered me that I was a current band and we were starting to tour, and so they just hit us up, and it ended up working out. Yeah. And then they took us out again, which was really cool. So, they're an amazing band too. Like,
I haven't seen them live.
Slade is one of the best singers I've ever been around. Like, really? Never fucks up live. It's crazy.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah. I'm in such awe of great singers. Like, I just don't have. I'm not naturally a singer. I can push my way through backup vocals just fine, but I'm just not a leading vocalist. So when I hear great singers, especially in like like I hang out at 51 West all the time. Like every once in a while, a band will come through 51, just like some other, just one of the 1,000 like grimy ass like late teen, early 20s bands, and they're all nice and whatever. And then they hit stage, and I'm just my hair's blown back. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's crazy. I wish I had a voice like that. Just
yeah, definitely.
Like, and being around those people too, and seeing vocal warm ups and stuff, it's like crazy.
Yeah, it's been a huge process for me to get where I'm at with singing, because like if you listen to that first album, like I sound like all like grovelly like Conor Oberst, because that's like how I learned to
the little like
yeah
voice.
And Curtis actually helped me a lot with that, because he would just challenge me and be like, that note's in your range, like you can hit it, and I'd be like, no I can't, and I'd try it for half an hour and get it and be like, whoa, like I have more range than I thought,
But then you're faced with doing it live.
Yeah, that was the high note in Beck and Call like killed me for the first like year, and then I finally, it's like it's a muscle. You grow it just like anything else. And
so was that the so it was then that's the one that's on All, right, on the in the chorus.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So was that the specifically like the moment, the song that he was telling you could hit that note?
That was one of them.
That was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That song fucking kicks. That song is so good.
That's been probably our most successful song.
Yeah,
ever.
It's great. It's
it was kind of a slow build, and then it got on that Pop Punk's Not Dead playlist, and it was, we've had other songs on that playlist too that didn't do as well, but it just like it seemed to be one that a lot more people saved.
That song. Okay, so I was I was delivering pizzas for a little while, and as a side gig, and I just put on that playlist one day for like I don't really listen to a whole lot of pop punk or anything like that, but I don't know, I had a wild hair, and I was like, I'm gonna put on this playlist and see what's going on right now in music, I guess. And halfway through the playlist, that song comes on, and I thought the playlist was over, and it was just playing stuff from my own library. And I was like, oh, why? This is weird. I didn't know I switched over to the other thing, and then I was like, oh fuck, this is on the playlist. This is amazing.
Yeah, it made a huge difference for us, for sure.
The Spotify playlists are like they make bands.
Yeah, and now we have one of the guys, Greg, that runs a lot of those playlists. Like he's like down to help us out when we have new stuff, and it's a huge help for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's one of those really important connections.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't touch the radio at all. It's just Spotify and CDs all the time. Like CDs when I don't have my phone. Like my phone's dead, or like if I'm out of range and I don't have my music that I saved. Like that's all I'm doing.
I found like on tour, like people will still buy vinyl.
Oh yeah.
Just because it's if you're a fan of the band, you want the vinyl, but CDs are super tough now.
Yeah.
And
cassettes too. Cassettes and vinyl. Mm-hmm. Like anytime we put out cassettes, we just burn them. Like people go crazy. Mm-hmm. Which because
it's like a cool little keepsake,
Yeah.
Like you're probably not going to listen to the cassette, but you're going to listen to it on Spotify. But that's just supporting the band more anyway, so it works out.
Yeah, and I was listening to a conversation this morning actually. I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about how it was Sturgill Simpson was on Rogan, and he was talking about how people just listen to stuff on Spotify and how that doesn't hurt your business. It helps your business. And even if they don't buy the record, it still helps you. It still gets people at shows. And like, there's people who I spend ridiculous amounts of money on and artists who I constantly support. And it's 100% because I was able to hear their whole album for free.
Yeah.
Like that's, or not free, I pay the monthly thing, but like for $12.99 whatever a month, I can listen to whatever the fuck I want from this band. And that's why I love them.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like that's so important. I hate when people say the conversation's starting to kind of die out now. But people are talking about how piracy was hurting music and this is that, and it definitely hurt like the record label side of things. But as far as getting bands out there, like I got into so much music from the Pirate Bay.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like it's crazy, and it helped you. I mean, that's why I'm able to just like boom, I can listen to whatever I want, and then I'm gonna go out and I'll buy the record.
Yeah.
Because that's my thing. Like I'll listen to the whole album, I'll fall in love with it, and I'll buy the record.
Yeah.
And I'll listen to the vinyl.
Or, a T-shirt or,
Exactly. T-shirts too. Or any kind of fun little cute keepsake thing and whatever. That's super important. So like as far as when it comes to the songwriting process, do you have kind of a cohesive idea of where you want this kind of music to go, or does the studio kind of change a lot of that and kind of retexture it?
It totally depends on the song.
Yeah.
And I'd kind of plan it out. Like, for instance, the song Something Good on our newest record, I knew exactly how that was going to be. And I actually had to fight Curtis for that song.
Really?
Like, he didn't think it should be on the record. And it was like, and we ended up, building it exactly how I envisioned it in my head.
Mm-hmm.
But then, other songs, a little less actually came the verses of one song and a chorus of another song that we realized fit together way better. So, there's a lot of moving parts. We'd move around on some stuff, but other stuff was, completely as is.
How much material didn't make it onto A Little Less?
I had around 20 demos.
Really?
Yeah.
And you cut that down to 13 songs? How
We
many songs are on the record?
cut it down to 10, and then we wrote a song together in the studio.
Got it. Okay. So, damn, that's crazy. So, were there any songs that you wish would have ended up on the record that just didn't work out?
I'm trying to think. There were a few choruses and stuff that I was really into that I'm still saving, and I'm constantly just iPhone voice memo, this idea kind of thing, and then when it's time to make a record, I start trying to organize all that.
So what do you write on? As far as do you write on acoustic guitar or how do you do that?
It's almost always acoustic guitar.
Okay, got it. What are you playing?
I have a lower model Taylor now.
That's cool. I want a Taylor so bad.
Yeah, it was $500 or something.
That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, Guitar Center.
And I just played a bunch of them, and one of them just felt way better than the other ones. So it's cool.
Yeah, same. They've got one at Guitar Center that it's $650, and I've had my eye on that thing for a year. This is exactly the guitar I want. It feels perfect. It sounds perfect. Taylor, it's always the fight between Taylor and Martin when it comes to acoustic guitars, and I just feel like something about Taylor just does it better. And Martins are great.
I did have a Martin before, and it was completely unfinished, and it over time just fell apart.
Unfinished. What do you mean? Where'd you get it?
It just didn't have any lacquer
on
it.
Unfinished.
You know what I mean?
I'm an idiot.
It was just wood, and I didn't take the best care of it. I'll be honest, but it eventually just kind of split at the bridge, and it was just
Is that my dog? That's squeaking? Probably. So yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, that's about what I figured when I hear kind of your guys' songs, and it kind of feels like I could hear that. And you guys recorded an acoustic EP, right? Or acoustic album?
We have a live
acoustic
thing. That was just a show at Crescent.
Yeah. How'd you guys record that?
Just from the board.
Just from the board.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's all. So when did you put that out? In what, 2015, 14?
14 maybe.
It was early. For
yeah,
sure,
it
right?
definitely wasn't something that was planned out. It was just the guy at Crescent was like, "Hey, I can record this and put it on a CD if you want." Cool. We needed more content because we were shopping to labels and stuff.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense.
I would like to do a bunch of newer songs acoustic at some point.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, dude. Fucking do you see Rebel can do that now?
Mm-hmm.
Rebel, it's Gren put that up on Facebook a few weeks ago, how he can record everything into the board now. It's hell yeah, finally. Fuck.
I love Gren. He's awesome.
Yeah, we've played it's crazy. We've played so many shows there when we first got started that never drew anybody, and he still emailed us and booked us more shows.
Yeah,
it was so nice.
If we ever got to the point where we were touring and we could afford our own sound guy, I would hire him in a second.
Yeah. Yeah, that place is great, and every single time I'm there, it's like we're just playing to you, Gran. Like, like you know that, like, I mean, not anymore, but when we first got started, it's like you know that we're not gonna sell it because when we first got started, the followers that we had, or listeners, or fans, or whatever, were almost 100% under 21. So it's like, all right, man, like you're shooting us an email to open this 21 or over show on a Thursday night. Like you,
yeah.
know we're not gonna bring anybody, but thank you.
Yeah.
And those were always the shows where like there's like 3 people and Mitchell Hillman, and you're trying so hard to like pretend that the whole place is packed.
Good old Mitchell.
Dude, yeah, I can't believe he's not writing for Java anymore.
Oh, really?
You didn't see that?
That's a huge change. Wow.
He just put out his last issue.
Oh, wow. I don't know
where he's going.
I haven't seen him in forever.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going or what he's doing, but he's wiping his hands clean of Java.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what. Like, I'm so like, what's gonna happen?
That was like such a reliable press source. You know,
that was the first press we ever got. I think.
Same. Yeah.
Mitchell and Yabian were the 2 things that ever picked us up, and forever we were just like crawling through glass at their feet, just like, yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
That shit's so important. Like, what was some of the first press that you guys ever got? Like,
it was like Yabium and Java, and then it was like a big deal when we got New Times.
Yeah,
I was stoked on that.
Well, did you guys get like a full page thing, or was you just like included on a list?
I think the first time it was like I think it was like 13 bands you need to hear
in 2013.
Yeah, something like that.
We had that too in 2015, which was awesome. That was lost our fucking mind.
Yeah.
The Phoenix New Times. It's so crazy.
Yeah, first national press, like, kind of like when I realized that this band could like maybe be a career was we put out this single called Hold Your Head Up High, which was like kind of the first, like, when we were kind of more like indie punk, pop punk, kind of making that change. And it got around, and I don't know, do you remember the blog Property of Zach?
Huh.
He was like, it was like kind of an emo pop punk blog from the East Coast, but he like, now the dude is like, he manages like Real Friends and Knuckle Puck. Like, he's like big time. But yeah, he was doing his blog, and he heard that song and like picked it up, and we like, that was the first time we like ever talked to like an agent or a manager or anything from that one song. And then they were like, I think they like thought we were further along than we were, because they were like, do you have like demos for a record? And then like, I didn't have shit. Like, I was like, but from there, it's like, that's what made me realize it was possible to like get out of Phoenix, you know?
Yeah.
And then I've been chasing it ever since.
That's awesome. That's fucking crazy. So how many tours has Sundressed been on? Do you even know?
I'd say maybe around 15, 20.
Damn.
Something like that.
That's crazy.
You know, some of those are a week, some of those are like, we did our craziest thing we did was in 2016. We did a 6-week tour that I booked myself.
Damn.
And it was gnarly. Like, it was in the middle of the summer. A lot of the shows sucked. Some of them got canceled. Yeah. You know, we made it, and we did have some good shows. But yeah, that was a huge learning experience.
What's the longest tour you've been on?
That one, for sure. Yeah.
Damn, it's the longest tour you've been on, and you booked it yourself.
Yeah. Since then, yeah, it's been, you know, like, instead of doing a full U.S., we'll do, you know, East Coast 1 month, spend 3 weeks on the East Coast, stay home for a month, and do West Coast for 2 weeks or whatever. You know, it's almost just not worth making the whole lap.
Yeah, I feel like 2 weeks is perfect.
Yeah.
Like, I've noticed that 2 weeks manages to be, you get real oiled and feeling really good and in the pocket together, and everything makes sense, and then you can just go home.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, if you want to go East Coast, you need kind of 3 weeks to, like, make it worth it. Because we're in fucking Arizona. Yeah. And it's far, you know?
Yeah, I know. Fuck everything.
And there's, like, if you get to, you know, the Northeast, you can play so many great scenes in such little drives that you need to spend time out there. Like, it's not worth it if you're just going to zip right through.
Yeah.
That's
true.
That's probably where we do best other than Arizona. It's like Philly, New York,
Baltimore, that kind of.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. We haven't been up there. I want to go up there. That's one of those things though. It's where it's like, you got to be fucking ready to go.
Yeah, it's a
Like,
big
that's
commitment.
far.
You gotta, and yeah, the space in between here and there, it's there's a lot of dead cities that you gotta just try to find a show so you have a stop.
Anywhere in Arkansas.
Yeah, right. We've played Little Rock before to 4 people.
Yeah.
Texas is really great, but like the good part of Texas is still 15 hours from here.
Yeah, I know. What do you consider to be the good part of Texas? Like, what do you like in Texas?
Austin is probably our best city, but Dallas is great. Austin, San Antonio, Houston, those are all cities you can play on the same tour.
Yeah.
And they're all pretty close together.
Some people just do Texas tour. I've known bands who just spend a week in Texas. Just hit all of them.
Yeah. Well, Austin especially, because we've done a couple tours with this band Nominee.
Yeah, I saw them at 51 not too long ago.
Yeah, they're an amazing band, and they're from Austin,
Okay.
and we got to play with them in Austin, and their fans it was just like a really good fit. And
Yeah.
so we got to, and luckily we were able to give that back to them in Phoenix too, which was really cool. And that's kind of what it's all about.
Maybe I didn't see them. Oh, they were on the bill with you guys at Rebel.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. That's why it sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. I really like, my favorite spot to play is Colorado.
I love Denver. Yeah. We've had our show there with Ann Arbor was probably our best out of state show.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, like we just zipped up. We hit Colorado Springs, Denver, and Fort Collins. Just like boom, in a line, hit all 3, and every single show was better than the last, and everyone was awesome.
That's awesome.
Like the kids there are awesome, and the people are so like laid back and almost like comically or comedically laid back and chill, to where it's almost like it's a sitcom. Like,
yeah,
like we were trying to park the van in this parking spot near the venue, and this guy is like walking down the street with his headphones on, just like minding his own business, and we're trying to park, and we're trying to like get the trajectory just perfect in the huge like 50 passenger van, and this dude, without breaking stride, helps us like maneuver in, and then just like pieces out and keeps going.
Yeah.
Like doesn't say anything, just like pimps away.
People are really nice there.
Dude, it's crazy, and everyone wants to make the joke. It's because they're all fucking stoned and whatever.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I talked to people from there, and they said that it was like that before that. So I believe that. No one just changes that rapidly.
Yeah. Funny story, actually. When we were Denver the first time after it was legalized, of course, like, I don't smoke. Some of the guys do, so we have to go to a store.
Yeah.
And Forrest is out in front of the store, like, taking his selfie with it. He's, like, super stoked, and this, like, hipster-looking dude just walks by and just goes, "Oh, fucking tourists." And it had only been a couple months of being legal, and he was already that jaded about it.
Oh,
just,
God.
like, totally rained on Forest Parade.
That's fucked up, dude. Forrest seems to get his parade rained on tour often. I remember when online when he got that weird back infection thing. What the fuck was that?
He has the worst luck with health, man. Oh, man.
Who was I talking to? Oh, I had Luke and Cam from Lifelink on the podcast, and we were talking about the same thing, and Luke just goes, "That's because Forrest is fucking dirty, man."
Fucking Luke. Yeah.
Oh my god. Yeah, but I remember seeing those pictures and being like, "Oh, what the fuck?"
Yeah, he was allergic to amoxicillin. That's what happened.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, and he because he had an ear infection right before we left for tour, and he was on that for his ear infection, and he went and laid in the beach in the sun, and then came back with that.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy.
Definitely taking him to urgent care a lot on tour.
Yeah, that sucks. We played in Tucson, and then immediately, like, I was sick the entire time and knew that I needed to go home and needed to go to urgent care, like, bad, like I needed to do this, and we just had to muscle through the shows that we had in Tucson before. I got literally the minute we got there, I got sick. We had to muscle through the 2 shows in Tucson, and then just keep thinking about, like, literally they dropped me off at my house, and I drove to fucking urgent care, and that was the end of it. Like,
Yeah,
those
I've been there. Yeah,
like, but I've noticed with performance, you get just enough adrenaline and energy to make it through the show.
Yeah,
Like it never. The show for me, no matter how sick I am, never feels like a chore. It's the lead up to the minute I'm on stage, and then as soon as I'm done on stage, it all comes rushing back, and I'm fucking miserable.
Yeah.
Like just enough to get through.
Yeah, I got bronchitis on the last tour, the East Coast run with Ann Arbor, because we just like hit a cold front.
Yeah.
And it shocked us because it was like totally chill, and then we hit Ohio, and it was like 15 degrees out of nowhere.
Damn.
And I had to play a show in St. Louis with like 102 fever, just my head throbbing the whole time. And like belting, singing makes your head throb anyway. So like that was probably the worst.
Damn.
But yeah, I made it through.
Where do you guys play in Ohio?
We usually play Columbus or Cleveland, sometimes both.
Sometimes both. Got it. That's where I'm from. I'm from like Dayton, which is like a shitty industrial suburb of Ohio. Yeah, it's weird. I've always wanted to. I moved out here when I was 15, and I always wanted to go back and like play a show. You know what I mean? Like where I'm from, but it's just, again, it's one of those things where we gotta commit. Like, let's do it. Let's go all the way fucking back up there. But I also feel like places like Ohio is where you get so many cool new people, because like nothing's happening in Ohio, so all the kids are gonna roll out to the show.
Especially if you play small cities.
Yeah.
Like we do well in Fresno, California, which is a shithole.
Really?
Yeah. Like it's like uncomfortable to be in parts of that city, you know.
Yeah, man, we like when we were in Colorado, we're friends with this band called Victim Culture, who used to be a band called Head Injuries. And they go up north to Wyoming and just play like this really small town up there and just fucking pack it in, because there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
Like, the kids look up to you more.
Totally. Especially if you're from out of town.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a lot of cities like that, and like playing the bigger cities, I only started noticing more people out when like Spotify started popping off a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you can like see, like, just because of the sheer number of people in the city, you're bound to have more listeners. And like now with Spotify, like having your tour dates pop up and stuff, it's a huge tool. Like you can put out a notification to like your listeners in New York that you're coming next week. It's so fucking cool.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. It's really revolutionizing everything. I just got my dad onto Spotify. My mom's been on it for a little while, but I have the family package, so I just send links to everybody I know who isn't using Spotify, and I'm like, get the fuck out of the Stone Age. Listen to this. Like, I put on Pandora the other day, just because I will say the one thing that I don't like about Spotify is I don't like their radio. Because it's like the same kind of stuff. I feel like their radio isn't as versatile as Pandora's radio is. And I put on Pandora, and the quality is garbage.
Yeah,
it's terrible. I could not fucking believe the quality was that bad. And there's ads.
yeah.
So it's like, whatever, man. Spotify takes the cake, though. I feel it's like Spotify and Netflix. Everything is just going that way, man. So as far as what you guys have coming up next, do you have any recording plans right now, or are you guys writing, or what's going on right now?
When is this gonna air?
This is gonna air in 3 weeks.
Which would be
like April-ish.
Well, I can say for sure that we're gonna have new music announced.
Okay, cool.
Early April. And we're announcing a tour in a couple weeks.
Sweet. So by the time this has come out, probably you guys will be that means it'll be out in perfect timing. We can start pushing it right when you guys are pushing everything.
Sweet. Yeah, we have a East Coast tour booked in June with this band called Northbound from Florida, and I love that band. I'm super stoked.
That's awesome. Do you like playing in Florida?
We've played the Fest a few times.
Okay.
The Fest in Gainesville, which is amazing. It's like it's an all punk kind of fest, so it's huge. Like we played last year, and like Against Me was on it, and like all these cool bands, and that is awesome. Only other time we spent time in Florida was on that 6-week tour, and it was so humid. We played a house show in a garage in Orlando.
Oh,
and it was
God.
It was an awesome show, but I've like never felt like I was like inhaling like moisture. You know what I mean?
That's the crazy thing.
It's just a different kind of heat.
That's the thing about, yeah, I know it is. That's the thing about humidity is I remember in Ohio, I would walk out the door, go get something from the car, and by the time I'm back inside, I'm sweating.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. And I can't imagine playing a show like it. It's bad enough playing the Underground in July. I can't fucking imagine.
Yeah. Don't get me started.
Or seeing a show. We saw, my girlfriend and I saw, and I think this was July too. We saw Single Mothers, Touche Amore, and fucking Gouge Away.
Yeah,
and
my girlfriend was at that show too.
Oh, fuck, dude. Yeah. I went for Single Mothers. I'm like, Touche Amore is cool, but I didn't stick around for them because I'm just like not the huge fan. But B, I don't know if I would have lived through.
Yeah,
I
heard their singer had to stop.
Really?
Like he had to cut short because he was dying. We
bet.
actually played the Underground the next night.
Oh, really?
Yeah. On that Dry Jacket run, and it was not as many kids as we would normally pull, but like I was still like you don't have to be here. Like,
yeah,
it's okay.
It was crazy because like Gouge Away. Like Single Mothers were awesome, but it was one of those situations where I got exactly what I expected, and that was great. But Gouge Away I'd never heard of, and they fucking blew the doors off.
That band's really cool.
They were so good, and so they killed it. And then Single Mothers comes out, and they play their most popular bangers back to back to back, like the first half of the set. So the first half of the set, we're all going as hard as possible, not realizing that we're just breathing in our own fucking air that we've already exhaled, and everything's falling apart and we're dying. Yeah. So we just like kill each other on these 5 bangers, and then the last half of the set, I'm looking around at everybody in the crowd just trying their best to keep rocking hard.
Yeah.
Everyone's like they can't sing.
It's rough.
It's fucking rough, man. It's crazy. None of the fans were on or anything. The place is crazy though. Did you, I just found this out the other day that the Nile used to be a speakeasy. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
During Prohibition, like the Nile was like people would come there like during Prohibition and drink.
That's wild.
Yeah, which is why Volstead is all like decorated in old school like 20s stuff, because that place legit was a fucking criminal operation.
Yeah, that's
which
crazy.
Is badass. So yeah, man, that's fucking awesome. Thank you like so much for coming over and doing this and chilling. Yeah. Really appreciate it. I was like, you're definitely one of the guys who was on my list for a long time, but I was like, nah, he would never come on this show.
Dude, I love podcast. I love music podcasts too.
Yeah,
it's like all I listen to.
Really?
So.
Yeah, I love that shit, man. So yeah, dude, thank you so much for coming on, hanging out. Stoked for all the new music that you guys have going on and the new tour that you guys are going to be going. How long is it? Can you say?
It's like just under a month, and it's going to end with us playing the Warped Tour date in Phoenix.
Fuck, that's awesome, dude.
Super excited for that. We're trying to get on the whole tour. It was looking like a possibility, but when they decided it was going to be the last one, it got super competitive, you know. So
I like that. Not to keep you in like super long, but I like that they went out dignified. They didn't string it out. You know what I mean? Like I read an article about how they could keep going and they'd be fine, and they they saw a dip in attendance last year, but it wasn't so much of a dip that they would have to close up shop. All their sponsors were happy. Everybody was doing just fine, and everyone made their money, and the artists were happy, and the crowd was happy, and everything. But when they looked at the statistics and all of the insights and whatever, as opposed as like to who wasn't coming to the show, their drop off was the youth audience.
Yeah,
like everyone who was there was in their like mid 20s to 30s and 40s, and the young kids who used to keep Warped Tour alive, they're just not there. Like the youth, like the rebellious music isn't rock music anymore. I mean, it is, but like as far as the popular culture, what's selling records, what's putting asses in seats and at festivals,
just not fucking rock music right now.
Yeah.
It will be again. It'll go in a cycle and it'll come back. But fucking even like Gibson is like trying to get some help. Like Gibson's, I guess, like in some fucking hot water too. Like right now.
It's pretty scary.
It is scary.
I mean, I'm curious to see how Warped will do because I feel like a lot of the bands do have a younger audience that are on it this year.
Yeah.
Like you got your, Real Friends and State Champs, like the newer kind of bands that are, like both of those bands could be like headlining marquee when they came through here, So that I feel like it'll be better this year with how they set it up.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love that the dude was just like, look, man, I'm fucking old. The kids aren't coming anymore. We're just going to call it a day.
Yeah.
Like, hell yeah. Good for you.
Yeah, dude, and it lasted a long time.
Yeah,
I went to Warped Tour in 99 and I saw fucking Eminem played at fucking
Really?
100 people at Warped Tour. Yeah.
Shit. I didn't know Eminem was ever on Warped Tour.
Yeah, it was back when like skateboarding was a big part of Warped, so I like went to go watch pros skate on a vert ramp, and I was like, oh shit! It was like right when My Name Is came out.
That's crazy.
I was like, I've seen that guy on MTV,
dude.
It's like
meeting, like seeing skateboarders in real life, like pro skateboarders in real life when I was a kid was the craziest thing in the world.
Yeah,
like I saw when I lived in Ohio, I was there when Rob Dyrdek opened his park in Kettering.
No way.
Yeah, I was
That's cool.
I was at the opening, and Rob Dyrdek was there, and Eric Costin was there, and Ryan Sheckler was there, and all these fucking. I didn't know that was before Robin Big, so I didn't know who Rob Dyrdek was because he wasn't on a Tony Hawk game.
Yeah,
Because I was a real casual when it came. Like there wasn't. I didn't have the internet. Like we had dial up and whatever, but it wasn't like it is today. I only knew the skateboarders who were right in front of me, and then if they weren't in Trans World or which is what I would read or Tony Hawk, then I didn't know who the fuck you were. So I didn't know who Rob Dyrdek was, and I was like, damn, who's this guy who's like opening a skate park? This is crazy. And it was like 15 minutes away from where I lived. So we went there, and it was a huge event with all these banners. My dad was so fucking cool. My dad helped me steal this like 10-foot Transworld banner.
That's sick.
Had that shit in my room for years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was cool. Like Rob Dyrdek was like really nice. We got to like shake hands with everybody. Eric Costin was really fun. That was the big one. That where I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
He's a fucking legend.
Like Ryan Sheckler had like these bright. I don't know why I remember this, but I remember him having these ridiculously bright white shoes on. Like he was just like, I don't know why, that doesn't matter. I just remember like, wow, the kid's baller, man. He's got those nice shoes. Anyway, dude, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah.
I'm stoked for everything that's going on right now. Thank you guys so much for listening. Yeah, that's it. Get stoked.
Aw, shit, look at that. The episode's over, man. We're done. Episode is finished. Luckily, though, there are plenty of other older episodes hanging around the internet anywhere you'd like to find podcasts. iTunes, podcast apps like Stitcher or Podcast Addict for either the iPhone or the Android. My official Podbean website. I'm fucking everywhere, man. I'm building an empire. Let's take over the fucking world. Anyway, if you've made it this far, I truly appreciate you and encourage you to please reach out and say hello. I'm serious about this, guys. I really want to connect with my listeners. So whether you want to come on the show or not, drop me a line. Hit me an email at gettingstokedpodcast@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I think that's it, man. Thank you guys so much for listening. It really, I know I harp on it so much, but it really, truly means everything. So thank you. Get stoked.